Come on in, everyone. Come on in and welcome to another Car Talk video. It's Tell Somebody You Love Them Day, y'all. I ain't gonna say it's Valentine's Day. It is Tell Somebody You Love Them. So let me be one of the first. I probably ain't the first because you probably already had somebody who told you. But if you didn't, just shouting you out, telling I love y'all. I love my YouTube family. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. But we're here for another Car Talk video, and this Car Talk video is going to get inspired by this exclusive video that they dropped on the AUNTIE YouTube channel. So I'm going to play it right here in case some of y'all didn't see it, because it's a date between Alonzo and Rashina, and all of us have been wondering, why haven't we seen a lot of footage on Rashina? Because a lot of us, like Rashina. So let's play this date, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
Rashina is amazing. It's instant fun. Even if I haven't seen her for a long amount of time, it'll feel like right when I see her, I can pick up where I left off. It's the type of energy I love, and she has that.
Haven't seen you in a little while. How are you feeling about tonight? This pajama party.
Right.
I wanted to get my.
Wait. Oh, you got the stuff.
I didn't mean to. Hold on, wait. Let me relax a little bit. Hold on, wait. I don't want to make nobody faint now.
Alonzo is cracking me up because he got this bonnet on, and all I can think about is Snoop Dogg. The conversation starts, and he's hilarious. We ain't seen each other in so long, so I'm excited to see him. Everybody's looking good in their PJs.
Right.
I feel like I came a little underdressed because everybody got the robes and the silk on. I feel like the mom for the sleepover. I feel like I got the sleepover.
The
chaperone pajamas on.
Don't want to be in that toilet.
Right. Don't be in that toilet. That's how I feel tonight.
Like good. You still look good.
I appreciate it.
You still look real good.
I appreciate
so
it.
You don't need to do too much.
You right.
It's already there.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're looking good too.
It's a nice little intimate setting.
It is.
So
great.
How do you feel about intimacy?
I like intimacy. Who doesn't?
So I'm just a question.
I like intimacy and the different ways of intimacy.
Right.
I like it. I'm a quality time type of person, so anything to give me time with my partner, I'm good. Whatever that is, from watching a movie to, just hanging out together, going to the store together, whatever.
Right.
So I'm all for it.
Right.
What about yourself?
They're the same. That's where you definitely can build that partnership. Because
I agree.
I think, you have your good days, you have your bad days, but the normal days are what's going to happen all the time.
That's right.
So if we can, enjoy each other on those normal days, then sky's the limit at that point.
I agree with that. I like that.
Rashina, for me, as a connection, is definitely elevating. It's fire all the time. That moxie and that pizzazz is just there. So I love that. I love that instant energy.
So I know each time that we talk, just get that great vibe. Like you don't have to force anything.
Right.
Like I'll be your partner in crime.
You think so? We could be a partner in crime, Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay, what's our crime that we do? What's going to be our crime?
What is going to be our crime? People watching and talking mess. That's what's going to be our crime. Because that's about the only crime I can do. I ain't doing nothing else. I might be a Bonnie and Clyde, but I'm telling on you. If you're doing something too bad, we ain't going to jail. We ain't doing the jail. Now, I love you, but no, we ain't going to jail. What about yourself? What would you say?
Our crime would be? What
would our crime be? Me and you.
Dine and Dasher. We go eat the food.
We gonna eat the food. Dip. That's gonna cause us to go to jail, though, because we didn't pay.
That's when we get caught.
We gonna get caught.
And we know we got the money. I feel like we'll do that.
Yeah, that's what we gonna do. I like to eat. So, yeah.
See how that worked in there?
I would say the connection with me and Alonzo is more of on a friend level, more than a romantic level. But we are still in the process. Things can change. But as of right now, he's the buddy. The night is young. We still got some fun to go.
I'm nervous.
What you nervous about? All these pretty ladies out here, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of one now, like I'm flabbergasted.
So what do y'all think about that date? What do y'all think about that exchange between Alonzo and Rashina? First of all, just like my thumbnail said, we know that we all kind of agree that Alonzo is immature. He's definitely immature. I think we went on different opinions. I think I did with some people's, because I didn't think that Alonzo was a bad person. I think that Alonzo actually has a pretty good heart. He's immature. He's a jokester. But I don't think that he's a bad person. I think Alonzo's best fit is probably going to be a woman. I don't know. In some ways, I feel like he needs an older woman who can help him grow up. And then another way, I feel like he would need a younger woman that could put up with some of his immaturity and all his joking around. Because I have this theory. I don't know what y'all's theory is, but I think people who are comedians, who are jokesters, whether they're male or female, I think they have a hard time dating because people don't take them seriously. And everybody wants a person with a sense of humor, but they don't want a jokester all the time. If you think about it, all the comedians on this show that have come on, they've never really done well. Remember the girl from a couple of seasons ago? Her name started with an S. I forget it was, but she's wearing the blonde wigs and she was always telling jokes. And I was like, that ain't sexy. We don't really see comedians do well on here. And I don't think that Alonzo calls himself a comedian, but he tells a lot of jokes, and a lot of his jokes really aren't funny, and I think that becomes the problem. Remember last year, Red, he wasn't funny. Everybody that come on here talking about they comedians don't really be funny, and in fact, what they end up doing is they end up rubbing people the wrong way. They end up running. So I don't think jokesters do well out in the dating world. So I don't know if Alonzo wants to change up his dating game, but he's going to need to probably tone down the jokes, because although it may be fun, it may be fun to hang out with a person like him, it may be fun to have him to go out with every once in a while, you definitely want to invite him to a party because he's going to keep the laughs and the jokes coming. I don't know if you see it as sexy on this day of tell somebody you love them day. That's what I don't think. But I would definitely invite Alonzo to a party because he's going to keep folks laughing. He's going to keep it having a good time. And I could tell that he wants to have a good time with whatever partner he has. Did y'all catch that little part about when he was asking Rashina, what do you think about intimacy? I'm going to give Rashina a couple of brownie points. And the brownie points are going to be the fact that, a lot of women would have taken that to another level when he said intimacy. And who knows, maybe it's another one of these tricks that Alonzo's playing. A lot of women would have taken the word intimacy and quickly went to thinking about sex, because we know Alonzo has a history amongst the group of always trying to talk about sex and different things. So when he says, what do you think about intimacy? It was almost like he was trying to lay her a trap, right? When he was trying to lay her a trap to see if she took it to be about sex or what did she do. But Rashina's a grown woman, and Rashina brought that all the way back and said, well, you know what? I love intimacy. What type of intimacy are you talking about? Because that's what we know as grown women, that there are different levels to intimacy. But Alonzo over here on some immature stuff, I don't know what type of games he was playing. I think he was playing some games. I think he was trying to trap her, but she too grown and sexy, Alonzo, to fall into your trap. And she knew right how to take that back to start talking about, what intimacy is, the different levels of intimacy, and it doesn't always just involve sex. Just like today, if y'all be go out with anybody on Tell You Somebody I Love You Day, what is the difference between intimacy and sex? Hey, there you go. Some of y'all sitting across from somebody and you ain't got nothing to talk about. Maybe you could talk about that from Alonzo's board game, the difference between intimacy and sex. Because we done found out over the years with this Ready to Love that a lot of people don't know the difference. A lot of people don't know the difference. But I also want to touch on real quickly about Rashina, because I don't know, a lot of us have been wondering, why aren't any of the men mentioning Rashina? We know Rashina just put Alonzo in the friend zone. There really was only, who did Rashina say that she liked? I know she liked Justin when they went on that dog walk, but I don't hear anybody saying they like Rashina. And I wonder why. I even wonder why now, up until this time, what has been Rashina's dating dilemma. And when I say dating dilemma, I'm not saying that anything is really wrong with a person, but everybody has dating dilemmas. People got marriage dilemmas. You married, you got marriage dilemmas. Dating, you got dating dilemmas. No one is without areas in their dating or marriage life where there needs to be some improvement. So I don't want nobody to take it wrong. But I wonder in Rashina, because we haven't seen a lot of footage on her, where are her dating dilemmas? I will tell y'all this. I will say this. Just like I pointed out with Alonzo, that nobody really wants a jokester man, a comedian man. I mean, unless you're making a lot of money, then they'll sit around and laugh at your jokes. But they don't want to always be silly. They want to see both sides, that you can be silly, have fun, joke around, but you can also be serious. And so far, I think Alonzo is showing us most of his silly side, or that's the side that the producers are showing us. We really would like to see if Alonzo has a more serious side. We just haven't seen it yet. But we also, I was taking a look at this car behind me. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at my rear view mirror and looking at this car behind me. But we also want to take a little look at Rashina. Now, I'll go back and say that one of the things I noticed from Rashina from the beginning, and I noticed it, and I think I might have mentioned in another my video, but because we haven't seen much of it, I kind of blew it off. And when I talk about patterns we've seen on Ready to Love, because Ready to Love really is almost like a dating experiment, because you have so many different people. After a while, you'll start seeing patterns. And one of the other persons I think that doesn't do well on this show in terms of women are women who, I don't know what they call themselves. Well, Rashina says she's into all things beauty. So that's getting close to what I'm talking about. And we know that she is a hairstylist. And so I think she's more than a hairstylist, because she says all things beauty. So she must just be in the beauty industry. I think just like when you hear when women meet a comedian or a jokester, they put them in the category of not being serious, right? And it doesn't mean they don't have a serious side. As LaRon said, he likes to go out and party, but that's only 10% of who he is. So I think when you lead with sort of your headline, people assume that's what you are the majority of time. And I mean, we know, hey, assuming things, what's the phrase? Assume, you make an ass out of you and me. That's what they say, assume, the word assume, you can make an ass out of you and me, so you shouldn't assume. Well, when you lead with it, it's really the only thing people have to go off at first. Then what has to happen is people do have to get to know you better in order to discover those other facets of you. That's why you really have to be careful what you lead with, right? That's the point. So do you lead with things and you knowing that people are going to know that first, or do you pepper those things in? So for instance, I know I'm all over the place in this video. So for instance, when LaRon led with, I'm a party boy and I go out to the lounge Wednesday through Sunday, but now he's mad at us because that's the image he put in our head, and now he keeps saying it. Well, he started the image. He was the one that told us that first. And even if he tries to tell us it's only 10%, which we know it's not, because some of y'all did the math for me down in the comments last time and said it's like 85%. He led with it. So I think you have to be careful what you lead with. And what Rashina led with when she entered this dating experiment, Ready to Love, she led with, I'm into all things beauty. We've seen these women before that come on. There was another girl I liked. I think her name was Marcia. Marcia was the same way. She was into all things beauty. I'm going to tell you what I think happens when women lead with, I'm into all things beauty. Men can get the impression that you're superficial. Men can get the impression that you're shallow. And men can get the impression that if they're not into all things beauty, they don't have anything in common with you. Right? Now, I'm sure Rashina has lots of different parts to her. Just like LaRon said he does. Just like I'm sure Alonzo has another side that's not always jokester and funny. But it's what they all lead with. So it's something to be said about leading with your best foot. It is something to be said about leading with your best foot. I know Rashina probably, that is a passion of hers. It's something that she wants to talk about. She wants people to know it's a big part of her. But we also got to know what to lead with. It doesn't mean that you don't introduce that parts of you to others, but it just means, is it what you lead with? My advice to Rashina if she doesn't find her love on this show, is to lead her conversations with something differently than she's into all things beauty. Because remember, when you're meeting a person, you're actually trying to connect with them. You're trying to connect with them. And I'm going to tell you, most men are not into all things beauty, which means you've really set the tone for the conversation, not talking about what you guys may have in common, but with just who you are, right? So, like I said, it doesn't mean you don't lead with it. I mean, it doesn't mean that you don't introduce it. It doesn't mean that it's not a part of your life that you don't want to tell that story. But in the beginning of a conversation, you want to make connections as soon as possible to discover the things that you have in common, not always the things you don't have in common. Because a good portion of men will never have in common with a woman all things beauty. Now, maybe if she were talking to DeMonte, when she found out that DeMonte was a fashion designer and he might be in a lot of beauty things or a lot of the fashion industry or a lot of in the looks, then maybe she could have introduced that sooner. But when you're just talking to a regular old dude, right, who's not into that, you really didn't establish a conversation in which there are things in common. You established a conversation actually telling that man about the things you like to do that he has no interest in. So what will happen is he won't really want to go further. He really won't want to go further and learn more, because what he's learned is all the first things you told him about, he ain't interested. See, you got to hook him. Dating is about hooking them, hooking the person in. And it goes both ways. It's about the man hooking the women in to some interesting conversation. It's about the woman hooking the man in. That's why Alonzo in this clip couldn't hook Rashina, because Rashina really wasn't interested in what Alonzo was talking about. All that, hey, we're going to be Bonnie and Clyde, all that other kind of stuff. She wasn't interested in that. She was going along with it in the conversation. But right after that, you saw, or when in her outtake, you saw he in the friend zone. He's in the friend zone. And he probably may not even know he's in the friend zone, because the way he looked at it was because she engaged in the conversation and spoke to him, he may think he still got a shot, and he ain't got a shot. He ain't got a shot. Not at all. So in a lot of ways, I feel like they both can do better. I think Alonzo needs to tone down the jokes. I think he needs to weave in more serious conversation so women know that they're serious, but then weave in his natural ability maybe to be funny, his playfulness, and weave that in. But don't lead with it. It's not a good leading personality, the jokester, the comedian. It ain't sexy. It doesn't pull women in, and they don't want to learn more about you. If they want to go to a comedy show, they'll book a ticket. That's what they'll do. They'll pay for a ticket. And Rashina, I think she needs to stop leading with she's into all things beauty. I think she does. Right? Because I'm telling you, when people hear all things beauty, they either hear selfish, self-centered, superficial. You take a long time to get dressed. You spend a lot of money on clothes. You spend a lot of money on this. There's a lot of negative connotations to it, and it really may not be who you are. But because you led with it, you open up the door. And some people may say, well, if you assume like that, then I don't want to be with you. No, don't take that position. Don't take that position. You don't know how some people came up with these thoughts in their head. You really don't know. And really, you don't want to shoo away a person because, yeah, they may have come to the wrong conclusion about you too soon, but you don't want to help them get there. Just don't lead with it. Lead with your best. Lead with a better foot. Same thing I said to LaRon. Well, if you don't think you're a party boy, why are you leading with you in the club? One thing that we've learned about what people lead with the image they're trying to portray, but sometimes they don't know what image that's coming across. One of my viewers, good Lord, I forgot his name already, but we talk a lot. He said, which I thought was so insightful, that one of the reasons why LaRon led with that he likes to go out to the club all the time, 5 days a week, or the lounge, but then later on in the exit interview, he started backpedaling, was he said because that was another part of LaRon's game to appear like a bad boy. And I thought, I like that. I like, ooh, you took it to another level. It was so true. You took it to another level. And that is, You're trying to present one image, but you don't understand that people aren't interpreting it the way you're trying to present, right? So here was LaRon, who led with he likes to be in the lounge, but he didn't realize that a lot of people interpret that as he's a party boy and it was a turnoff. But there could be a scenario where the reason why LaRon was leading with that was he was trying to present the image that he's a bad boy, when we all know now that we've seen the exit interview, well, it ain't even the exit interview, now that we've seen the interview with Kojo, he ain't a bad boy. He ain't a bad boy. So then when you see Alonzo lead with all these jokes, like he's so fun-loving and he's such a comedian and he's such a jokester, you might want to ask, what are all these jokes covering up? Maybe that's why we don't see the serious side of Alonzo, because he doesn't want us to see the serious side. He wants us to see the jokester. Maybe what they're leading it with is their cover-up, right? Maybe what Alonzo is leading with, the jokes, are to cover up something inside that he doesn't want us to see. Maybe it's a distraction. Just like my viewer told me, hey, that thing with LaRon was a cover-up, which we knew it was. And who knows? Maybe Rashina's is a cover-up. Maybe the All Things Beauty is something. What's deep down inside with Rashina? That's another thing that people associate with people who are always into covering up themselves, adorning themselves, over-adorning themselves. What are you covering up? Remember last year with Ashley and the over-beautification? And we were like, good Lord, Ashley, the nails, the hair, the lashes, the nose ring, the clothes, the makeup. It was a lot. It was a lot. And come to find out, she was covering up all kind of stuff. And that's the thing. So when Rashina is leading with All Things Beauty, and she likes to get dolled up and she likes to be beautiful all the time, there could be another person that says, well, what is she covering up? That's why I keep saying you got to be really careful with what you lead with, because it could send the wrong impression, or it could send the impression of it really is you. Give it some thought. Give it some real thought. But anyway, y'all, I don't know. That's my card talk for the day. Like I said, tell somebody you love them. I love y'all. Have a great tell someone I love you day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.